Okay, trying a new arrangement for now, but I just finished watching The Mustang, so forgive my stuffy nose and crackly voice and red eyes and stuff. I think at times I would like to maybe record right after watching a movie because then the feelings are strongest, and depending on what movie, I could be very moved by it. So The Mustang was a movie I've been looking forward to watching because it has to do with horses, and it also stars an actor that I'm very fond of, Matthias Schoenaerts. I really hope I'm not butchering his name. I first saw him in Rust and Bone, and this was a movie he did with Marion Cotillard. Oh God, I don't know her last name, how to pronounce it. She's French, very famous French actress, and he got really, really good reception for his performance in that movie. And since then, he has honestly been doing great roles, and I love watching his work. Some of the other ones I saw were The Drop, which I feel like not many people know about, but that one has Tom Hardy in it. And he also did Far From the Madding Crowd, which I loved, with Carey Mulligan. That one's a period film, and I think I want to watch that movie over sometime soon because I kind of like his role in that movie, because he kind of plays this shepherd that spontaneously asks Carey Mulligan to marry him, and she rejects him because she's a very independent woman, and at that time period she just didn't want to become like a man's property, which is kind of what it was like back then. So the movie was just kind of like him being a very, very loyal and great friend and person to be by her side, especially in a society dominated by men. And she was just trying to be a strong woman, and times were hard for her at times, but he was just always there for her. So anyways, that was a nice movie. But this movie was really, really great. Basically, he plays an inmate that has been serving for 12 years, and his crime was that he got so angry at his wife or significant other. They didn't really specify that, but I'm guessing it's just partner. But he got super mad at her that he hit her head against the sink so hard that she got brain damage. And basically his personality was that he had a very, very short temper, and because of that, he basically tried to isolate himself. He never wanted to reintegrate even in jail, so he got placed into the Mustang rehabilitation program. I don't think that's the proper name for it, but it's based off a real program that apparently exists in places like California, Nevada. Apparently this movie was filmed in a place that Shane is very familiar with, Carson City. I think the whole movie is just demonstrating how a program like that really, really helps rehabilitate people, even when they have lost hope or they haven't shown interest in improving their behavior. I feel like when I start talking about a movie, I feel like I need to summarize it, and that probably makes sense because I feel like half the time if I talk about a movie, people won't know what it's about, but maybe talking about what I feel or think in regards to the movie is interesting enough that not knowing the entire plot and what happened can still be meaningful. So one part that actually really hit me hard about the movie, and I feel like it's gonna make me cry to talk about it, but I still want to talk about it, is every single inmate in the program is designated a horse, a Mustang, a wild horse, and they need to spend several weeks training it because after that they are auctioned off. He got assigned a horse, and with his short temper and that type of personality, he was struggling a lot to get the horse to do what he wanted. So there was this one scene where he was so frustrated, he was tired, he was getting angry, and he started like screaming and just being like, why won't you listen to me? I'm tired. And he was just like really, really furious. And that scene resonated with me because, sad to say, it reminded me of me. So I wrote in my blog post, my little biography about myself, that when I got Riley, when she was a puppy, I realized that I had some pretty deep anger issues. I never had it surface like that before because I don't think I felt that level of frustration with a person. I feel like in previous relationships, if I ever got angry, yeah, I would probably be overboard where I would kind of curse at them. And I don't think I ever reached like that level of screaming, but I would get angry and I would curse. So at that time, I feel like at the age, maybe that's kind of normal and part of the learning process where you realize that that's not really okay to say to someone you love and care about. But my point is that even if I had these bouts of anger, I didn't think that it was anything bad. So when I got Riley and I was having trouble containing my anger when it comes to accidents, and I never blame her for whatever happened during that time because she's a baby. Puppies will pee and poop in your house. They can't control it until a certain age. So while I was potty training and crate training, if she ever had accidents in the crate, I would get really, really angry. Or if she peed or pooped in the house, I would get angry. And there would be times also where I was trying to train her and I would get angry and shout at her. So that scene reminded me of me, and that memory is hard for me because I feel like that was the one point in life where I was really ashamed of who I was. Maybe this wasn't a good thing to talk about. That time period when I was not having a good relationship with her when she was young, basically I'd say until 6 months. No, I'd say like up until the 8-month mark, we didn't really have the best relationship, and it was all because of me. I recognize even now that I just have that perfectionist personality. So when I first got her, I would be so frustrated when she just didn't do what I wanted. Or if she showed hesitation, I would just be like, man, why can't you just be confident and do this for me? And it was just all, really bad approach to anything, because even now, when I watched that scene, I was like thinking to myself, which is, trust me, very different than what I used to think, which is that you need to be patient and that you have to be calm. I use the word calm so much now, but it really is such an amazing approach to everything, to just be calm, clear-minded. So seeing him shout at the horse. And another thing too, if you approach with the wrong mindset and the wrong emotion, like if someone approached you in an angry state, you're obviously going to react to that. So that was very similar to how she reacted to me or how the horse reacted to him. So seeing all of that just made me remember those times. Unfortunately, when it comes to her puppy time period, I often feel sad about it. I don't think it's possible for me to go back and think about when she was a puppy and pinpoint specific happy memories, because dominantly I just think about how I was not very good to her. So I'm definitely really glad that things have turned around. I would like to think that people can see that our relationship has improved. I think it would be nice for people to know that it wasn't always this way. It was pretty bad, and I had to do all the changing. She definitely didn't, and sometimes I feel like she's too good for someone like me, because she really has just such a good temperament. So that movie touched me on that level. But aside from that, Matthias is just a very talented actor, and I'm just happy to watch a movie with him in it, because sometimes I feel like certain actors I like might end up spacing their movies out more, or maybe I need to just go to his page and see if I've missed any that he's done in the past year or something, because it kind of feels like it's been a gap. I really enjoyed that movie, and I'm also really glad that I chose to watch that movie, because I will admit that I'm still having a hard time balancing thoughts of streaming. Is that stupid? Because when I first decided to do it, I was thinking that I don't want it to be something I prioritize. But I will admit that some days I'm like trying to think about how I'm going to organize my evenings so I will get to stream for most of it, and maybe that's okay if I can fit in stuff like my movies and my workouts and the stuff I normally care about. So that's kind of like the deal that I made for myself today. I was like, first, when I get home, I'm gonna watch this movie, and then I'll stream. And I think if I have that balance, that's fine, and it'll make me happy. And actually, I haven't done my workout yet today, but I had got my period today, and admittedly, I don't really feel it so much right now. I did at work. I was kind of uncomfortable at work this afternoon, and it sucked a little bit, but now I feel fine. I was actually going to cycle while watching the movie. That was like my way to multitask, but I don't know. I decided not to. Like, I ate and then I just kind of sat there and ended up watching. So, super happy I watched it. The next movie for me is going to be Hotel Mumbai. That one I look forward to watching as well. I feel very confident that I'm going to enjoy that one. But in the meantime, I'm going to clean up my face a little bit, and I'm going to stream a few hours of Dota tonight. Maybe some chess, but hopefully I'll get a few more wins in Dota ranked tonight. Hi, I'm back. Sorry, I have a bug bite on my neck. Most likely a flea bite, but I do think the bites are subsiding in terms of quantity, so as long as I'm not always constantly getting new bites. But anyways, something I was considering talking about is just something that sort of relates to me that happened in the news recently. So I talked about it briefly in my stories, where somebody got attacked by a service animal on a flight, on a Delta flight. And this happened in 2017. So just recently he decided to sue them because this dog bit his face, and I think it really caused a lot of damage to his face, or like he suffered a lot after that incident. So the thing is, situations like that kind of makes airlines redo their policies, or maybe they try to think about what they may or may not allow in the future in regards to pets in the cabin. So what I did notice is that Delta probably tried to change their policy a little bit, but honestly, I'll admit, when I was making my flight, it was really easy to get Riley approved. The main reason I want to talk about this is because I have been using an emotional support animal letter to get Riley into the cabin with me and fly. So far I've only done this twice. The first time was when I flew here to move to San Diego, and the second time was when I went to the International in Vancouver. And the thing is, both times have been extremely smooth, as in she has not caused any sort of negative impact on anybody on the flight at all during the entire trip. The airport, I mean, she pooped twice in the terminal, but I freaking cleaned that shit up, so that's fine and everything. I just thought it was funny how she managed to do that both times, and I took her out before I went inside the airport both times. But anyways, I have been occasionally feeling a little bit guilty when it comes to this whole situation, because I know that I'm cheating the system, because I purchased a letter and it was from a certified mental health professional, and it's legit, but technically I don't really need her for the purpose that I'm saying I do. but I would not be comfortable having her in cargo because I just don't like the idea of being separated from her, and you just don't know what type of people work in those positions and how they might treat your dog. You just don't know. So that makes me very uneasy. Whenever I read these articles, I think there was one specific article I was reading in response to this whole incident, saying how people who are, skirting the rules or cheating the rules or being imposters are really, really ruining things for other people, because it might cause businesses or even these airlines to start limiting or restricting what service animals have access to. And at first I was thinking when I was reading this that I feel kind of bad and guilty for being one of those individuals, but I do separate myself a bit because I'm not faking her as a service animal. There are certain people who actually do that. They buy a service vest and they fake their dog as a service animal to get them inside establishments where they normally wouldn't. I don't do that. I only use this thing for flying, and I will say that I think that when most people break the rules or they cheat the rule, they negatively impact someone. So for example, that man who got bit, that person bringing him on as a service animal should not be doing that shit when his dog is aggressive. And he did that because he's a selfish individual, right? He doesn't care about the others around him. He doesn't care about the danger his dog brings. So for someone like me, yeah, I'm breaking the rules, but who do I negatively affect? When I think about that situation, I think the only person I could possibly negatively affect is someone allergic, but that's kind of like random and unknown, and the individual who may have desperately needed the seat that they offered to her. But the thing is, I'm flying Delta this time, and they are not offering me an extra seat. They did, however, move me to a seat with more leg space, but I had to call and request that. They didn't actually offer that initially. And that was a little bit different for me because the 2 flights I had previously, they automatically gave me that. And I was very, very happy about that. So I did ask for that when I called them, but they said they couldn't, so they moved me. But they did also say that if someone needs that seat, they will kick me out of it. So I'm a little bit nervous about my flight home next month. I really hope I don't have to sit in a normal seat because I'm 100% sure that there's just no space. Freaking economy is so tiny and uncomfortable. Listen, I might be different than most people, but I find that one fucking human being the size of me sitting in those seats is uncomfortable enough. If I have Riley in my leg space, where am I gonna put my feet? Do I just fucking sit like this while I'm flying for 6 hours to go home? That sounds miserable. So I'm a little bit anxious about my flight, and it's in just a month. So it's funny, when I look at my calendar, I think, wow, I'm actually really busy these next 2 months. But it's not real busy. It's more like I have events and things to look forward to, which is really cool. So I have Epicenter at the end of this month. I have Vegas this weekend. I have flying home at the beginning of July, and then the week right after that, I'm going to Montana. It's gonna be amazing. Oh yeah, one more thing though, is that I have to start working weekends a little bit coming up because for the same reason I just said, me being kind of busy with stuff, like my trips, I have to work weekends because I asked my manager to trade me, sort of. I wanted 4 days in August to watch TI without going to work, without using PTO days. So I asked him if I could work weekends, and surprisingly he said yes to that. So because my July is so busy, I might have to start working weekends for June. I just need to make up 4 days, and instead of going, multiple days for 4 hours or like doing weird shit where I divide my days into like 1 hour increments to add on to like 32 days, I'm not doing anything crazy like that. I'd rather just go in for 4 days, 4 whole days, and just make it up like that. So I have to figure that out, but I also have to make up this upcoming Monday because I don't have a PTO day to use for that Monday in Vegas. So I asked him if I could make that up on the weekend as well. So The sad thing is, yeah, I might be working 6 days a week coming up because of all this hecticness, but it will be worth it because the past few years I have watched TI during a whole week without going to work, and I do not want to ruin that. I know for a fact if I have to work during TI, it's gonna suck because some of these games go 12-hour days, and that won't work if I have to work and worry about sleep and all that stuff. When TI is happening, all I want to think about is Dota. I don't want to think about work. So I am happy that it's happening the way I want it to. At first, I was a little concerned that using all my days to road trip would be a regret, especially when TI came around, but I'm really glad that I asked him this because I think I would be a little bit bitter and unhappy if I wasn't able to watch TI the way that I wanted to. She's being weird. You're being weird. I'm using my tripod today because my mini tripod is in my car, Milo. I did end my stream a bit earlier today at 11-ish. So at first I was like, you know, after watching the Mustang earlier, I've got this drive to watch movies, but I need to make sure that I sleep on time and properly. So I'm not gonna do that. And I still have, you know, plenty of time and days, especially when I go to Vegas, I'll have time to watch movies in the evenings because, well, I will probably bring my work laptop and I could maybe play some chess on it, but I don't really know if I'll enjoy that because playing on a slow computer just blows. I'm definitely really excited for my trip. My parents actually arrive in Vegas tonight, so I think they might actually be there already. And I'm kind of jealous that they have these extra days before I get there to just spend there. So I am really, really looking forward to seeing them because, yeah, it's been a while. The time has really, really flew. I can't believe it's been already over a year since I last saw them. But soon I will be able to see them semi-easily. They'll be 5 hours away. Well, that'll be next year. They're not gonna fully move just yet, but yeah, can't wait to see them. And I will definitely be filming when I'm there. I really, really do enjoy filming when I'm not at home, showing you guys how I behave, my thoughts when I'm in a different location. But it's gonna be 100 degrees there. That's a little concerning. Poor Riley, I don't think I will be able to walk her at all in 100 degrees. I guess I can try to do like late evening and stuff. I don't think I'll do early morning, fuck that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and the next time you see me, through YouTube at least, I will be in Vegas.